All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Asha and Fnan. We are covering two episodes in this video, episode 14 and episode 15. So, also the finale. Um, these episodes were interesting and a very interesting end to the season. And we will also, in our next videos, be talking about the reunion, which is even more interesting. So just stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing in the comments. Give us any kind of feedback. We'd love to hear back from you. Um, and without any further ado, let's get into it. So we go into episode 14, um, and Marge is having a little party just for like her mom and for Jen Fezler. Jen Fezler comes over with her mom, who is also a twin, and it's actually really cute. They're so close, and they like love being twins, which we stand like it's just like really cute. Like they were like fighting over like a white claw or something, and that was really funny. And they're like sitting down at the table and just like getting to know each other, like talking. And Marge is like talking, and she's talking about meeting Joe. And then also like she brings up Danielle and how self-centered she is because Danielle was kind of just going like, "Oh my God," when Teresa was talking about her brother like at one of their trips in Ireland, I think. And another note that I wrote here is like the aunties want the tea because they were asking about if Melissa was going to Teresa's wedding and stuff like that. And I was like, do you even know them? Like, I love it. They were giving me life. And then, yeah, so then we go into the next scene where it's Polly and Dolores, and they're just sitting there waiting for everybody to come for this dinner. And Frank shows up with Brittany, his girlfriend, and Gabby and Frank, the kids. And so it's like a cute little family moment, this fucking moment that Frank wanted all along. Like, this is what I just said. And it's interesting that Polly's still like not divorced yet. So I just think I just like wrote that little tidbit. Frank's girlfriend
The
also was
fact that
asking,
no one knows that though is the crazy shit. So
right, right. Frank's girlfriend asked Polly what language they speak in Ireland. And I was like, are you kidding? Um,
he's
and
so dumb.
so dumb. And then Frank was just saying that they were throwing this or having this dinner for all of them because they're really proud of Gabby and Frank for where they are. Like Gabby's like a veterinarian and Frank's doing something. But like they're both like very successful and like Gabby and Frank are also really close too, so like we love that. Um, and so I just said Frank and his son's relationship is very sweet. Like they really love each other. Because Frank said, if I ever get married to Brittany, which would be amazing, like I would want Frank Jr. to be on my side for my best man. And I was like, it's so sweet. So yeah. And then it goes into the next scene where we see Teresa and Louis planning the seating chart for their wedding. Um, so when Louis calls his mom and says, "What's up, you sexy thing?"
That's weird.
I just like had no words for that moment. Okay. And then
Would you say that to your mom?
absolutely not ever. That's like no, no.
Do you think Teresa's children would say that to her? Okay. Just wanted to confirm. I would never say that. Well, maybe I might say that to my mom. My mom was hot. But I don't think I would be like, what's up, sexy thing? I don't even think my brother would do that to my mom. That's just so awkward. Ew. Ah!
Saying that. Like we're not saying that. Like that's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
But it is like Teresa called it out too. Like it like the family that Louis has is like a vast difference from her family because she feels as though like, no one in her family supports her. So to the fact that like Louis' family is willing to just like drop anything to like come and help them or do things for their wedding, like I'm sure Teresa's like, wow. Welcome to the good life. That's really how
Ooh, child.
that's really how she's feeling. Okay, and then yeah, Teresa's just like talking shit about Melissa again. Um, they text Melissa. And I see the contact photo that Louis uses for Melissa. It's like sick, but it's really funny. It's like a picture of her from like before she was even on the show.
I think that's Teresa's phone, not her phone,
Okay, well,
not his
whoever.
phone.
It's so funny.
And Teresa put the ugly photo of Melissa because she's
Yes,
so fucking petty.
it's funny. Like I was crying. Um, so then they were talking about how toxic Joe Gorga is. And Louis just said that like Joe Judice called him and said, like, no, if you let this dude in your life, he's like toxic, he's like poison. I'm like, Joe Judice is calling
Why are
you
we
that?
talking about Joe Judice?
Like, why is he calling you? Like, why are you guys like I'm okay with you guys being like friendly, but we're not gonna have another Frank David situation. Okay. Don't be like besties. Like, what are you guys doing? And so, yeah, like when he said that, I was like, that's weird. Like,
Also, I'm sorry, Joe Judice is not the best judge of character when Joe Judice is Joe Judice. He put your current wife in jail. Do you remember that? So
right,
shut up.
right,
Shut the actual fuck up, Louise.
right. And I said, like, my next note,
Louise.
Teresa said, like, the only time that her and Joe Judice used to fight was about Joe. And I was like, he would like call you a bitch and like literally call you out of your name, like, and stuff that didn't even have to do with Joe.
She like conveniently forgets that
Right.
her husband was also didn't treat her the was not a good husband to her. Maybe a good father, but
Yeah.
personally, I believe if you're not a good husband, you're not a good father.
I mean, like, if you have a kid, no, I'm not gonna say it. Just cut this out. I'm not. I'll just say
Okay. Okay. Okay.
okay. So my next note was in caps and it says they need to get out of each other's lives at
Who's
this
they?
Joe and Teresa.
Oh, okay.
This is like getting to be too much.
Getting
And so
out of hand. Yeah.
yeah, like they go into the next scene. Danielle's looking through her clothing line, I think she shares with her mom. Not she doesn't share the clothing line with her mom, but she's just looking through it with her mom. And the whole thing with Danielle and her brother is like really weird. Like family is very important. And I think it's crazy that the brother also cut off her parents and like, had a baby and won't let them see the new baby. And she's like, what happened? Like, what was so deep? Because it's like everyone's trying to make up with him and like he's not trying to make up with anybody from like the family's point of view, from everything like Danielle says. So I'm just like,
Yeah.
it's just like truly a mystery. But family is very important, which is what I also said. Especially when it so like it goes into the next scene where it goes into like Jennifer helping her brother um move into his new place, like surprising her with it or surprising him with it, and his new wife who finally was able to legally come and live in the US. Um and she was talking about, the issue she's having with Bill with her brother and how he just needs therapy alone, like solo, because obviously couple isn't working. So like Bill just needs to like go alone, but like Bill will never go alone because he even feels like he just doesn't need it at all. And I just said his ass needs to go to therapy. He could benefit from some fucking therapy. Um, And so then it goes into the next scene where Rachel is talking to Jaden and just is telling him that she wants to adopt him and like went to the adoption lawyer, but also like in because we're doing this, like it could also come back that like your birth mom may want to fight like this thing or contest this and like say like that she wants to have the rights of like everything for you. Maybe not the rights, but just like you're still her kid. And so Jaden looked really happy when she said that, which I was like, that's so great. Like that's like actually really awesome. That he was happy about that because that just means and like Rachel also says it at the reunion too. Like they don't like him and the birth mom don't talk. So like he must really, really love Rachel and like trust her. And yeah, so I thought that was just like really sweet. And then I just said like, why didn't she tell Jaden before going to the lawyer? Like we talked about in our last.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But it was cute that Jaden was happy and it seemed like it was a very open and honest conversation. And Rachel looks like she really and like sounds like she really, really loves Jaden. So I think that's like really great. I'll give her flowers for that because you know I didn't like that bitch this season. So everyone's getting ready for Dolores' Flapper party, her prohibition party, and they're all talking about Melissa and Teresa. I'm like, please, is there anything else to talk about? Danielle, like, she's
yeah. That whole scene is a chop. Like they're all just gossiping about each other, and Dolores is setting up the party. Like,
like, stop.
stop.
Up. Like, we're trying to have fun.
God, this show is so annoying.
It's actually,
Anyways,
and then, so I just thought like everyone was just being really embarrassing. And then so Jen was talking to Bill about what Laura said. I forgot like what it was exactly, but I think it had something to do with Melissa again or Margaret. And you know what? I don't care. I don't care about what someone who's not on the show says. Like, are you kidding? Someone who is too fucking lame to be not to like be on the show. Like they literally were like, you're just not dramatic enough. And now she's causing all this shit. And I'm like,
God.
I'm talking to her.
Are you a Margaret defender?
No, I'm just a Laura hater. It's like you can be both. Like I'm definitely
Yeah,
not a
yeah.
Margaret defender though. That's what you will not catch me being a Margaret defender. That's for sure.
It's giving that a little
No, it's
bit.
not. It's not giving that. It's not.
Okay, 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 okay.
Um,
Do you see how unenthused we are, you guys? Just so you guys are, anyone who's watching, we're so unenthused about this episode because it's just this, we just want this season to end.
it's been painful. I'm so like
It's so painful. We have like no thoughts because we
yeah,
just don't give a fuck.
we're just vibing.
But we do, I mean, we do give a fuck, but we don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's a hard thing to go through. Sorry to interrupt what you were saying, but continue. Sorry.
So like basically we're almost at the end of the episode. Louis, I just said he looks scary and he's as red as a lobster, talking about Joe and Melissa and how he doesn't want them to be invited to the wedding anymore. And in my notes, I just said like Louis is the problem. Like,
Yeah, I think the best, even though it wasn't a part, like the best part of that episode was being able to see who Louis really is. And you see who he really is when he's talking to Teresa at the very end
yeah,
of that episode. And he is red as a lobster, doesn't let her talk. She looks nervous. She's, he is
absolutely.
using all of these words
Mhm.
that she doesn't understand, calls her naive, talks down to her. You see how he can be taking advantage of her in this moment.
Mhm.
And that's where I was like really scared.
Like
Um,
sick.
Like he wouldn't let her talk. He just kept talking negatively about Joe. And it's like you don't even know Joe Gorga that well to just be able to scope out who he is as a person.
That's so true.
I don't even think, even though like I don't give a F about Joe Judice, like I don't even think Joe Judice spoke that negatively about Joe Gorga. Did he? Or maybe he did, and I just don't remember.
We started the bitch boy train, if I'm being completely honest.
Oh, okay. You see how much I don't give a fuck? It's so sad. This was like one of my favorite franchises, and the way that it's just gone down is like really frustrating. But
It really is.
yeah, anyways, my point was during the that part of the show, it was just really frustrating to see how uncomfortable Teresa looked. Like she was biting her lip, nervous,
Yeah.
and I feel like she was like, I'm gonna cut him off because of him. I don't know that she really truly wanted to cut him off. I feel like it was fed through Louis to do it.
Hmm.
So, and found, I feel like he built an immaculate plan to take advantage of a naive woman and isolate her to take advantage of her. And I hate that that will happen. I don't want that to happen, but it's giving that a little bit. Am I right or am I wrong?
It just like keeps happening on Bravo, you know? Just makes you really sad.
Yeah.
People are stuck in these incredibly vulnerable situations where they're not their strongest. And sick people want to like pounce on that and
Yeah.
make it spin their way, which I just think is really sick. But that basically brings us to the end of that freaking episode. So now we'll let Fanon take the reins and we move on to the finale.
All right. I'm gonna try my best to summarize this as quick as possible. Um, Obviously we'll have our thoughts. We'll share our thoughts at the end of me talking. Okay. Um, because I just realized we didn't share too many of our thoughts. But there isn't like many thoughts to share.
That's what I'm saying. I have more thoughts about the finale.
Okay. Okay, cool. All right, so the finale starts out with Dolores and Polly doing the finishing touches on the party. Food looks good, the dancers are cute, everyone starts rolling into the party, and everyone's impressed. I mean, this house is gorgeous, as we've stated before. Then so all of the people pretty much start arriving. I think Danielle is the next person to arrive, but before Danielle arrives, Melissa asks um, if Danielle is okay in the group because of how she was during the trip. And Marge immediately starts talking shit about Danielle. And Rachel assumes that she's going through something deeper than just her brother
Mhm.
because of her behavior during the trip. Um, then we move into the boys, which I am begging you, Bravo, and boys scenes.
Please, please,
Please, like
please.
literally.
Oh my God.
Or oh
Dude, you read my fucking mind because I literally
yeah,
my note literally says, I really need this to be the house husband's last season. It needs to be done.
like end it now, please. Stop. Okay. We go into the boy scene, and Bill suggests that Joe and Teresa talk with one another. To Joe, he suggests that. Joe doesn't really say anything to that.
Right.
Then Danielle arrives, and Rachel and Danielle seem to patch up their argument, which was stupid as fuck. It's like one of the stupidest arguments that we have ever talked about on this platform ever.
Wait, Andy said it too. He was like, this is a really dumb argument.
Yeah, I'm literally copy paste that to this as well because we've talked about this for forever during this season.
So stupid.
This is part of the reason why we're like over this season. All right, so basically they kind of patch it up, and then Melissa gets involved, and Melissa and Rachel. It just kind of feels like Melissa knows that
Frustrating
the
some.
tea is coming today.
Yeah.
She knows because she's like, "Do I know something? Do you know something that I don't know? Like what? Like
What do
are
you
you
know?
trying to tell me? Like what do you know?" Like it just like looked like Rachel and Melissa knew exactly like what was going to go down today.
Mm-hmm.
It just seemed so staged. Production may have told Melissa, "Hey, this is going to come out sometime, one or
In the
another, or
first,
whatever."
probably.
So annoying, right? All right, so we move into the next scene. Teresa and Joe, Teresa and Joe walk in. Teresa and Louis walk in, and it seems that Louis ignores Joe when he walks in, and so does Teresa. Um, I thought it was so funny when Jen Fessler put her daughter's phone number in Frankie Jr.'s phone. She's like, "Can you whip out your phone?
That was so
I need to
funny.
know." That was so.
That was so funny.
Oh, that was hilarious. Okay. Sorry, that was a side note, but I had to bring some laughter in this, some humor. Um, then Danielle eventually tells Jennifer that she's going to tell Melissa about the rumor. And Jennifer, then we move to the next scene. Um, and before we move to the next scene, Jennifer obviously is like, you shouldn't do it. Oh my God, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's just like, well, just make sure I'm not involved in this. Just make sure that, the rumors from Laura and not me, basically. She's just trying to clear her name from this. Okay, girl. So we move to the next scene. Danielle decides to have a one-on-one convo with Melissa about the rumor. And then she tells Melissa the rumor, which is, hey, you were in the backseat of a car making out with a dude. Dude
Mm-hmm.
told Laura, dude told you, and you told Laura. And Melissa was like, "Oh, I already knew this
Yeah.
already through my. You want to know how I knew this? Through my husband." She shares that Joe had a conversation with Louis about the rumor without
Oh, she
Melissa.
keeps saying Teresa.
No, no, no. I know. If you let me finish, sweetheart. So basically, Melissa says, "Oh, I already knew this already through my husband." And she shares that Joe had a conversation with Louis about the rumor without Melissa and that Teresa set the encounter up. And so Melissa's pissed off about this because she was not included in conversation and is upset that Teresa would believe the rumor. Um, then Danielle is upset that no one is actually upset with Margaret because Margaret's the one that brought this
Got
rumor to
away with it
be.
or something.
She got
Yeah.
away with it. And Melissa, so when Danielle brought that up, Melissa was like, "I don't believe for 1 second Margaret would ever say that," is what she says. I question that.
Mm-hmm.
So then Margaret walks on over because she hears her name in the middle of the conversation, and then Melissa shares what's happening. Margaret and Danielle get into it, and she's upset that Danielle would be talking about someone that she doesn't know, and they get into it.
That's tea.
Then
It's kind of tea
mhm,
though. That's kind of tea though.
it is T. She was right there.
Yeah.
Um, so Danielle, 10 more chops.
Yep.
Um, so after the Margaret and Danielle kind of get into it, um, Melissa's trying to help Margaret understand you don't get mad at Danielle. You get mad at Jennifer and Teresa because they're actually the ones that are plotting it, which is T.
Yeah. Which is tea.
It's T. Jennifer was the one who told Danielle, and I feel like Teresa is kind of involved in this, but she claims that she's not.
Yeah.
Um, then Melissa calls out Teresa and Jennifer, calls them losers, and she's like, "What? What? Why am I a loser?" Teresa's shocked and upset about this. Well, Melissa immediately was like, "You called my husband and you set up a one-on-one with him, and you thought that I was cheating on him." Da 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 da. And Teresa's shocked that she brought this up on camera and is upset and walks away, and then Melissa follows. Moving to the next scene. Melissa calls out Teresa for calling her brother about the rumor, and Danielle says, "So what? Margaret said it. Let's divert." Like Margaret, Danielle's trying to do her best to like divert the attention to Margaret because Margaret is the person that's be knowing things and never being called out for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so then we get into Teresa in her confessional saying that Louis called Joe to tell him about the rumor to ultimately get in front of it. And
Yeah.
then Margaret calls out Teresa for bringing this up with her crew. So she finally calls out Teresa. Um, then we move into Jennifer and Margaret getting into it. This was so chaotic. Then we move into Jennifer and Margaret. Um, and Jennifer was like, "You're just mad because I know something that I'm not supposed to know." And Margaret's like, "You're on a revenge tour. I get it," which is T. She was on a revenge tour.
Yeah.
And Margaret ultimately yells out, "Well, you're mad that Bill slept with a subordinate a long time ago." And Jennifer has like a panic attack, and it was so weird. She was just like, she jumped out, she had a panic attack and was like,
Blaming
the
the
girl
woman.
threw, the girl threw herself at him. It wasn't my husband. I'm like,
Right.
oh my God.
Right.
She is a loser. Like, she really doesn't even want to hold her husband accountable for doing what he did. Like, you want to blame the woman for this. The woman definitely has
To blame.
some fault in this, but
Yeah.
this is, you also need to call out your husband. And the fact that, like, she said in her confessional, my husband isn't a cheater, you are. And it's like, bitch, are you stupid or are you dumb? So, all right, so more shit ensues. Melissa keeps saying, yeah, Louis called. And then Louis in the background, he's like, yeah, I called. And then all of a sudden he says, Bo Dietl knows everything about everyone in the room. And everyone in the room's like shocked at this.
Everyone's like, huh?
I'm like, huh? Who the fuck is Bo Dietl? Right. Then he kind of like, Louis does look at Melissa some kind of way. And Melissa's like, why are you looking at me like this? And he kind of like walks up to her
Mhm.
and with Nate behind him. And it looked like he was like, with Nate holding him back, it looked like he was trying to lunge at her.
God, that
It
was
just looked like a little bit like aggressive, right? And so Joe was like, dude, get the fuck back. Um, and so he gets the fuck back. Then we move into the next scene. And then Louis is now downstairs, finds Teresa and Jennifer, and he kind of like lies about the encounter that he just had. He was like, oh, Melissa tried to fight with me, Joe tried to fight with me, but like literally they didn't try to fight with you. You kind of walked up to them and you had like an aggressive manner to you. And you're
right.
red and you're a man and you're coming up to a woman like, what the fuck? Um, Eventually, Louis, Teresa, and Jennifer and Bill leave because they are guilty as fuck and they're trying to leave. I just feel like that.
Real,
Um, huh?
real friends.
Real friends, sure. Um, Margaret is still pissed off at Danielle and she's like, you're trying to break up a family. Eventually, Melissa and Joe leave the party. And then we get to the next day. Jennifer heads over to Teresa's home. Jennifer shares that she told Danielle not to tell Melissa. And Teresa's like, I wish that she would have not done that either.
Yeah.
And eventually Dolores calls Melissa while she's on the way to Teresa's home. And basically Melissa's like, dude, I'm not going to this wedding. Why would I go to a wedding when this woman's always constantly trying to destroy my marriage? And we get to a confessional with Joe sharing that Louis, during that encounter or during that conversation about the rumor that
Hmm.
he had with Louis, Louis had confirmed that there were multiple men that Melissa may have been with. And Joe also shares that Gia had called Joe a couple days after saying, you deserve better. And yeah, ultimately, Melissa decides, yeah, I'm not going to a wedding when these people don't fuck with me, ultimately.
Yeah.
So then we get to the next scene. This is so long. Dolores says that if she doesn't go to the wedding, she tells Melissa, if you don't go to the wedding, there's no relationship anymore. And Melissa's like, dude, there has never been a relationship
Ever.
ever. So um Melissa ultimately thinks that Teresa put Danielle up to this and coordinated the Louis Joey meeting and didn't fuck with her ultimately because of that. Uh or no, this is okay, so Dolores tells Teresa and Jennifer that Melissa thinks that Teresa put Danielle up to this and that she coordinated the Louis Joe meeting. And Teresa's like, dude, that's not even the case. I would not do that. Then all of a sudden, Louis shows up to the conversation and then he says he only wanted to share that rumor stuff because he wanted to make sure that Joe got ahead of it. He was coming from a place of care, allegedly.
Right.
Then all of a sudden he brings up Bo Dietl again, who's his best friend and a private investigator, and says that he
Bringing up that name.
knows information on everyone in this group. And immediately when he said that, you could see Jennifer's heart drop to her ass because like she realizes this dude is insane.
Yeah.
And then she says Dolores eventually tells Teresa, yeah, Melissa and Joe will not be coming to the wedding. And Teresa's like, I'm done with these niggas. And she's like, you know what? Melissa's been trying all of this time to take Joe away from me, and she finally got my brother forever. And that's how that ends. My God. Did you have thoughts? I literally don't have any. This show is so annoying. Oh my God.
It's painful.
Right.
You should get awards for watching this season because it was really bad.
It
Like
was
it was
tough.
good, but it was just like it's like pizza, you know? Like bad good pizza. Like yeah, you're still gonna eat it because it's pizza, but it's because like
I'm dead.
you've had better, you know? Like you know
Yeah.
that there's better. You know that there's potential.
Yeah.
And that's
Um,
what this season was. It was just a bad slice of bad pizza.
yeah. I appreciated Melissa's not my favorite at all. You know, I'm a Trey stan, but I appreciated that Melissa, I feel like for the first time may have been honest a little bit about how she feels about Teresa. Like truly. I feel like all of this time she's just been
Hiding.
like hiding the fact that she doesn't fuck with her. And I feel like Teresa I don't know. Teresa kind of clicked down this season and it's really sad to see. The reason why she clicked down is because of Louis.
He's terrifying.
Scary. So
Like it's
scary.
just scary. And the way he said "What's up, you sexy thing" to his mother, can't get over that.
Yeah, it's
Let's not
just,
say that to your therapist's mother. What would your
oh
mother
my God.
therapist like? Let's put her in those shoes. What would she think?
Ugh,
Weird.
yeah.
Um, Final thoughts for the season. Like regarding the reunion, that's like where we're at right now, currently with part 3 coming up on Tuesday. Trey or Melissa, one of them's got to go, or both of them. Like at this point,
Yeah.
I can't watch them anymore.
Um,
They can't. Clearly, they cannot coexist. And I would much rather watch Teresa, but I like if Teresa leaves, I would be fine with Melissa. But if both of them are coming back, neither of those bitches are not coming back. Like neither of you guys should come back. Like if you think that you should come
yeah.
back here with Teresa or Melissa, like no, it has to be one of you or none.
Yeah. I am also on the same boat. It's just hard to watch a show with them continue to hate on each other. Like,
Your
it's just
family.
not going to work
Yeah.
anymore. It's sad to see this come to this conclusion, but it's like, what else can these people do? You know? I don't know. I don't know. I prefer for Teresa, obviously, to come back. You know, Teresa is so entertaining. She
Yeah.
gave her life to the show. I don't care how people try to dismiss it. She
Mhm.
literally gave her life to the show. She deserves to be there. She deserves to continue showing her life on the show as much as she'd like to.
Okay, but like
Um,
if Louis out here like making calls to Andy and stuff,
I don't know. It's kind of
she may
over
not
for
last
her.
on the show. Yeah, she may not last on the show much longer with her scary
But
boyfriend.
like Melissa and Joe they cannot, they will not be able to actually sustain the show. I'm so sorry. Like they will just not be able to. Like Melissa doesn't bring anything to this show at all,
No, except for her long lost sister
which is
and
not even true. Which I
her
feel like,
career.
sorry, go ahead.
No, I just said her music career.
You know, and what was it? Well, anyways, I guess we'll talk about that when we get to the reunion
Mhm.
stuff because spoiler alert, Teresa kind of gets ate up. And it's really sad to see it and because I remember Teresa being able to drag anybody and anyone and say anything and I she just wasn't really doing that so much
It
so
was
far.
yeah, it was
Um, Hopefully she can recover in the third episode. I don't know though. Louis comes back and he might ruin everything. So
I guess we'll see. She's good at like dishing them, but like not dishing them after someone else has taken it. If that makes sense.
yeah, I don't know. Melissa kind of kept her foot on Teresa's neck. It was so embarrassing to watch. I'm like,
It was
I
cringe.
don't remember this ever being a thing. But it made me appreciate Melissa more. I'm like, damn, Melissa, like, where have you been? You have not been working, and now all of a sudden you're working. I mean, she's working to keep her job, I guess. So I don't know. It's just hard to give Melissa credit.
Yeah, so
I,
true.
I just,
I hate doing it.
yeah, I hate doing it. But one thing about me, I feel like this is for you too, is like, even if we don't like someone, I feel like we're not a liar ass bitch. Like, we'll be like, yeah, I don't like her, but she kind of ate. Like, yeah, I don't like her, but like, yeah, she looks good. Yeah, I don't like her, but like, I feel like we can be objective sometimes. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
About certain things. Unless like you're really truly a piece of shit, you know? Like Tom Sandoval. I can't cape for that man at all. He actually is ugly. He actually needs help. He actually needs to go to therapy.
And that's just facts, sister. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts
Uh,
this season.
yeah. Did you have any other final thoughts? Sorry, I felt like I was just talking.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
No. It's just interesting into the season. That's
Yeah,
mhm.
I'm interested in the off season. I'm interested in like what we're gonna do to make this show back to family style chaos, but not the old shit. Let's bring some new family style chaos.
they they gotta get rid of like the Gorgas. Who knows? Maybe Teresa will be the first to go because
I
when
hope so.
like saying to Melissa like, you know, when she was saying to Melissa like, I'm so happy I'm not gonna see you again after today. And
Yeah.
she's like, you're leaving. And um Andy was like, yeah, good luck with that. I was like, that's not happening. Like even Daddy Andy said it wasn't happening, which means Melissa's coming back. They always announce after the reunion though, um like all if like all the full cast members are coming back. So I guess we'll see after part three if all of them are gonna come back. Maybe Teresa won't come back.
I don't
children.
know how she's going to treat Andy if she's not going to be asked to come back. Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah,
Because they both were like, yeah, I don't have any plans to not come back. They both said that. So
I
I
don't know.
just wonder. I remember like the way Nene left a while ago. She had no respect. I mean, she didn't fully finish the reunion. They kind of let her go from there.
Mhm.
Vicky, like I think the ones that they let go are just like, oh, your head is too big right now. We got to let go of you so that we can get you right back to Earth again. Like they did that to Tamra, they did that to Nene, they did that to Vicky. I think they had a plan to bring Nene come back. She just needed to like take a fucking break. Like she went through a lot,
Yeah,
and I think they also. I mean, Vicky's back now. Tamra's back now. Like, who
Tampa.
else are the other OGs that they let go? I don't remember.
I don't think they let go of Taylor Armstrong. I think Taylor should just like quit. But she's
Yeah,
see.
yeah. I mean, yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know. Hopefully they make the right decision. But sorry, we don't have much thoughts about these two episodes. It's just we just are over it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We packed two episodes into one. Hopefully you like it. Please give us feedback on our videos or comment on our videos below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. And we'll be back with part one, part two, and part three of the reunion with our videos soon. Fanon and I have very busy lives. So we're trying to watch
She
them.
just moved,
Yes.
so you
So
know,
it's a big deal.
life's been a lot. So thanks for
Thanks for sticking
rocking with us. Yeah.
with us. We'll be back soon. Please, again, don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, tell your friends all about it. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.